DBSCG things.
What's up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Taxon, and welcome back to yet DBSCG things. And today we're going over another very exciting battle. This one's going to be a little bit more fun, and it is round 1 of our local this week. This is going to be Xeno versus Green Hercule. Before we get into it, guys, I do want to say if you guys want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. This is the best place to go get your custom card needs, and if you guys do decide to get a mat from them, make sure you use the promo code Yuhp to save on your entire order. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this battle or my content in general, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. With that being said, let's turn it around and check it out.
Alrighty, you guys, and here we are with round 1. Hercule is on the right side versus Sin on the left. I'm not too familiar with the Sin deck, so I'll do my best to understand what those cards do. Hercule starting off by charging himself a green energy and then activating the pay 1 effect of that Tapion in order to discard himself and then play himself from the drop area. Draw a card at the end of the turn. He is a 15k blocker. We got Xeno starting off his turn by using one of his extra cards, which is a top 5 searcher for a Unison. It looks like he does get the Unison that when he does activate an extra card, it forces him to mill as well as his opponent, and when he awakens, that self-mill will go away and the opponent will continue milling. So we got the leader effect, discarding to get a draw, and then we got the effect of the card that we discarded to reveal the top. If it was a black Shadow Dragon, we add it to hand, unfortunately hitting a yellow Shadow Dragon. His tech card coming up and definitely being unfortunately placed in the deck for him. So there you go, using the uptick of the Unison there to draw 1, bottom deck 1. Swinging in with it. Both damages there were dealt to Hercule. He is a 1k leader, and on the backside he is only a 5k, so not the greatest leader, but he does have an activate battle that when he's in battle he can combo from the top. So he activates battle and hits a Unison and an extra card. Unfortunately not able to use the leader effect there at all. Comboing up to 6, opponent probably not going to have to take a damage, paying 1 to go ahead and move that and draw a card, get something fresh to the hand. And then more than likely from here, I'd imagine he'd pass turn. Yep, so there goes the turn pass there. Going back to Xeno with a charge of his second energy. Got 3 markers on his Unison, still unawoken. He does have quite a bit in his drop area, so he might be able to awaken this turn. I believe it's 7 or more dragons or something like that in the drop area. So we do see the play of a 1-drop, and then the uptick of the Unison there. If you guys are wondering, that Solar Flare of a card on Xeno's side is a 1-drop promo Xeno Shenron from, I believe it was the premium packs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, swinging in with the leader, then swinging in with Unison. Both damages there have gone through. We're passing turn over to Hercule with 1 energy active. Looks like starting off the turn by charging himself a Frieza Pod. Unfortunately, didn't see it early enough for him to play it out, it seems. So we'll see what he decides to do here. Starting off with the swing of the leader. He does block with the leader. He's probably swinging at the Unison, and that triggers the block and the uptick with the leader there. We do see the effect of the front side of the leader. Burst the 2, combo 1, and then we're going to see the awaken since we're at 4. Let's draw 2, flip. And then we do see 1 more combo. Looks like he's saving the second activate battle there. Unless I just missed him already using it. So a first attack does go through here. Paying 1 energy to move the ape and draw a card. Pretty solid play there. Drawing into a Ribrian, so it looks like we have some sort of hand destruction attributes into the deck here. We are paying 1 for the Frieza healing pod, so if we get something into the drop area, aka something like that Tapion, will trigger the healing pod, which is pretty nice. It looked like he went to go ahead and activate an extra card. He did it during the wrong timing, and then the turn was successfully passed over to Xeno. Xeno starting off his turn by using that card, hitting the mill, hitting the top 5, milling his opponent into a Tapion here, which is honestly pretty beneficial, being that he just established his healing pod, so he could pay 1 and then in turn play a blocker and draw 2, which is pretty good. We have more than likely the awakening turn here. He does have all, yep, so there we go. We see the awaken on tap 1, draw 1. We don't take down any life in this deck, which is pretty nifty. We do play out the 1-drop Haze. That guy is going to flip the top card if it's a black Xeno, add it to hand. Uptick, and then bottom deck 1 and up to 3 from the drop area on the unison here. Putting those all back at the bottom of the deck. Proceeding on with his turn. He does have 2 energy left and a leader swing that he could go ahead and get through here. So we'll see what he decides. Oh, and the unison. So we'll see what he decides to do here. Swinging in 15k. Looks like we do see a dormant. And he pitching a ape there. I'm not sure if dormant has to pitch a green card or not, but there he is. Pitching an ape, which is nice. KOing both the 1-drops in play, which is also very solid. Not too shabby. He does take the damage though. He doesn't choose to use the blocker during that battle. That's something that I probably would have did there. We shall see what he decides to do. Looks like we're going to pay 1 for the activation of an extra card, and then I apologize. Yeah, I do apologize. He's using the Spirit Boost effect, I believe, to use that card, and then paying 1 for the effect of the 3-drop Shinron when the Spirit Boost effect comes out. He comes out. So he's go ahead and triggering his autos. His top 5 search lands him a super combo. Pretty nice there. And the extra card does nothing. It probably does something, but it didn't look like it did anything in that instance. It does trigger a mill from the 3-drop and a mill from the leader. Flips the top card of his deck. It is a black Shadow Dragon. He adds it to hand, and then he swings into the leader. Not quite sure what the stats on this card are. I believe it's at 15 or 20k. So it looks like we see a super combo bringing Hercule up to 15. Warping a Shadow Dragon there. That probably would have been pretty nice into this matchup. And then giving him 2 5ks from hand in order to survive that attack. Put another Dryup and a Ribrian into the drop area with that effect. We'll see what he decides to do here. Starting off by using Faded Rival Son Goku. We're going to bottom deck the super combo from the Z Energy and KO the 3-cost Dragon. Following that, Goku up with a Piccolo Faded Rival as well. He's a he's either a 25 or a 20k dual attacker, which makes your opponent discard 1 every single time he attacks, which is really nice. Well, we do see the swing. We see the activation of, I believe, Oceanus, which is not too shabby. But wait, he only had 1 energy up, so he did not have the correct requirements to activate Oceanus, but now his opponent knows that he's going to plan on floodgating more than likely next turn. So swinging in, I believe we're going to see the discard here. He might have already discarded it. I might have just looked over it. Nope, there it is. There's the discard art. So now he got the discard on attack. We see no negates, and it looks like we're going to see the activation of Heroine's Lineage. Very solid. Just going to go ahead and take that Piccolo. He was already procced for dual attack, so he does switch back to active, fortunately. Swinging in with the Goku Faded Rival. This guy is a 30k double striker. We'll see what he does to go ahead and prevent this damage from going through. Looks like he's going to combo 2 times, activate the Spirit Boost on the leader to use that extra card there. His opponent's going to have to mill 1, milling into a Demega. Looks like he's milled most of his Demegas this game. Probably not going to see his Unison. So not quite sure what he hit there, but he might have added something. I'm not quite sure. Gets the draw, gets the flip effect. If it was a black Shadow Dragon, add it to hand. I do have this in 2 times speed, so it is a little hard to keep up with some of the things they're doing, but it makes for a little bit better of a watch than watching a 30-minute battle. With that being said, we're moving on, and we got a couple attacks here we could do. Nope, looks like he's not going to do it. I was considering the fact that he could swing with Tapion and probably play out another one and sit on Dormant, but like I said, I did forget that he didn't see Unison yet, so it doesn't have free Dormant. So paying 1 for a dragon, and then paying 1 for for yet another dragon. That dragon, unfortunately, top flipped into a Bardock, so he did not get that draw there. We're going to see the uptick on the Unison. Draw 1, bottom deck 1 and 3 from the drop area. Just have a few attacks here. He got his leader. He's got Piccolo. He's swinging 25 into the battle card there. Using Dormant here, that should have costed it energy. It looks like we didn't see the energy tap there. We see the Dormant block combo, which means we got one more attack going through. Let's see if he takes a damage here. If he uses an energy, this is going to be a pretty bad misplay because he did not have free Dormant live there, and he did not, unless I just missed it, I believe he used 2 for Fate Arrival and 1 for Piccolo last round, so he should have, yeah, so it doesn't matter. It looks like he's going to go ahead and pass turn there. Going into turn 5 here for green Hercule. He's going against the board of Piccolo, a 1-drop, the Unison, the leader with a bunch of life still and 2 energy. And like I said, we've seen the attempt of Oceanus last turn, which means we'll more than likely see Oceanus once again here. So we'll see what he decides to do. If we're going to end up pushing through Oceanus or... So it looks like we are coming out 1 for Piccolo since we already have the barrier Goku still chilling. So we do play, knock a marker off the Unison, and then swing into the Unison as well. This is going to trigger our Xeno Sim player to activate his Oceanus. Landing both effects there on the flips, getting both Shadow Dragons, and then having to pitch from Piccolo Jr. here. Looks like we did actually manage to see one of our Unisons. It looks like we're going to play him out for 1, uptake him to 15. We'll see if we end up tapping out here to go ahead and play out a Tapion from the drop area. That'll be a draw 2 with the field spell in play. So we do see the swing of the leader. We do see the block. That was a pretty good play there. He did mill not a great play for him, but he did play quite a few, or mill into quite a few good targets there. Like here is really nice because he did go ahead and discard a Ribrianne in order to play out his Zarbon, which is really solid. Now he's going to have a blocker and Dormant active here, so if his opponent has 5 or more cards when he activates his Dormant blocker combo, he will have to discard 1 and go down 1, which is pretty solid. Both players playing here with a slightly lower hand than usual, and like I said, this is going to be a funner match. This is actually a legit match from my locals, but it is a more fun base decks that we're seeing here. Like I would have never in a million years thought to have seen green Hercule Saiyan Delusion at my local. So very exciting to see this and actually get it on camera. Especially to see the strategy of what he's trying to do here. It looks like he's just going to pick his hand apart until he can land a big attack with his leader. Because in case you guys do not know, I'll put it up on the screen. Hercule does have a big ol' effect that when he combos, he can basically become like Quad Strike, I believe, which is absolutely nuts. I'm not looking at it right now, but I will put it on the screen for you guys after recording. So anyways, making a few actions here. Looks like he's swaying. We've seen the activation of Homicidal Clone. It doesn't look like we had another Dormant here. Unless I just missed it while I was rambling. So he does have 2 blockers on field, so we'll see if he has anything he can get rid of. So he does get rid of the Zarbon. If his opponent has 5 or more cards in hand, he does have to pitch. It looks like he did. He had to pitch out the Ultimate Dragon Slaying Bullet. We're going to pay 1 for the activation of that 1-drop, picking one of the extra cards up out of the drop area and add it back to hand. So pretty solid there. Pay 1 for the recursion of the card that he had to discard. And it looks like from there he's just going to have to pass turn. Nothing else he can really do there. And we do have a Frieza Charismatic in play. It looks like he's got Piccolo and Goku still in play as well as his Unison, which is really nice. So we'll see what he decides to do here. I'm gonna have to start putting pressure here because Xeno Sin's hand is slightly getting a little bit smaller, and he does still have a bunch of life. So we're gonna want to find a way to go ahead and get through these lives while at the same time getting rid of the hand, because he has been slowly ticking away at Hercule's life here. So it looks like on the very first attack of Piccolo, We do see the activation of Oceanus. That, of course, is going to trigger the flip on the card he discarded, triggered the flip on the Oceanus, and then discard one from Piccolo Jr., which is pretty solid, especially if he can continue this hand destruction up. He does have, it looks like he's going to go ahead and play out 8 cost Cell. This was printed for the Gamma deck. He charged it early this turn, at the beginning of this turn, and now he's going to go ahead and use it and 3 other green energy in order to play himself. Bottom deck the field and present a dual attack double strike for 30,000 power. So this is a turn that he could add quite a bit of pressure. We're going to see what he decides to do here. Just going to pass. He's just going to use them to hit the board wipe, so he doesn't have any other attacks than the leader to worry about, and other than cards that he could possibly present. More than likely sitting on a dormant. So we'll see what he decides to do here. Starting off Sen's turn by bottom decking, or drawing one, bottom decking one from the drop area with the unison effect. Gonna go ahead and pay 1 for the Xeno Sen. His flip was not a dragon, so he did not get to add that to hand. Continuing through, swinging it with the leader, he gets his auto to draw. It looks like Hercule's gonna go ahead and combo super combo from hand, draw 2, warp 1, comboing his Frieza from hand as well as a ape from his hand to get out of that attack. Ooh, that mill there hitting his Cell Max. Very unfortunate. That could have been a big power play move considering what could be in Green's Z deck. He could have definitely did Cell Max, swing, and go for the SS3 Broly Tyrant Z card as well. That could have been a huge play, but it looks like he got it milled. That's very fortunate. He's going to go ahead and use a couple more effects here. He's going to get rid of the 9-drop, force a mill. He's got 3 more energy here, so if he looks like he's passing turn with 3 up, so we're more than likely sitting on an Oceanus. That's what I would imagine. Hercule's deck is definitely getting pretty small here. He's swinging into the leader. It looks like the 2 cards in his hand was not Oceanus and a discard target. He did have to discard 1 and forced to take that damage with only 1 card left in his hand. And that card he discarded was a super combo. So that is, oh, he had to swing again, he played out the 5-drop Kaioken. That forced a discard. That was a super combo as well. This is getting pretty gritty. It's getting to the point where he can just deal damage, and then every single time he deals damage to Shenron here, he can just take the card away, considering he does have a good board established and Ribrians in the drop area. So we'll see what he goes ahead and does here. Going down to 3 life, we're going to pay 2, activate Ribrian, put him down to 1 card. This is about to be a pretty hefty play here, especially if his leader attack goes through right here. Looks like we're going to pay 1 and draw a card with the ape. Activating the leader effect to discard his hand and swing a big quad strike. And that is it. It looks like Xeno Sen did not have a negate there, and unfortunately that was the big bomb play that he could not stop. With that being said, guys, Hercule won this. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Always remember, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.